Welcome back to Safety Engineering Tips. In this video, we are going to discuss the hierarchy of controls. Now, this is one of those fundamental concepts that you need to know if you are studying for your safety engineering exams. So, whether you are a student or a practicing safety engineer, this video will be useful for you. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out any future videos. Now, what is the hierarchy of controls? So, the hierarchy of controls is a systematic approach to identifying and implementing controls to mitigate workplace hazards. It's like a pyramid with different levels, and each level represents a different type of control measure. The ultimate goal of this approach is to eliminate or reduce the risk of injury, illness, or death from workplace hazards. The first and the highest level in the hierarchy of controls is elimination. This involves removing the hazard completely from the workplace. For example, if you have a machine that has moving parts that can cause injuries, you can eliminate the hazard by replacing the machine with a newer, safer model that has enclosed moving parts. Or if a process involves the use of hazardous chemicals, elimination may involve switching to a less hazardous substance or modifying the process to not use chemicals at all. The next level in the hierarchy of controls is substitution. If elimination is not feasible, the next best thing is to find a less hazardous alternative to the workplace hazard. For example, if you have a task that requires workers to work with a hazardous chemical that cannot be eliminated, you can substitute it with a less hazardous chemical that does the same job but poses less risk to the workers. Or if a process generates a lot of noise, you can substitute the noisy equipment with quieter alternatives. The third level is engineering controls. These are physical changes to the workplace or the work process that isolate workers from the hazard. For example, if a job involves working with dangerous machinery, engineering controls may include installing machine guards to prevent workers from coming into contact with the hazardous moving parts. Or if a process generates loud noise, engineering controls may involve enclosing the noisy equipment or routing the exhaust gases through a duct to a safe area. The fourth level is administrative controls. These are work procedures and policies that reduce the likelihood or the duration of worker exposure to the hazard. For example, if there are chemicals being used in a process, administrative controls may include implementing a permit system for handling the chemicals or developing standard operating procedures for safe handling. Or if there is a task that involves working at heights, administrative controls may include limiting the number of workers on a ladder at the same time or requiring the use of fall protection systems. The last and the lowest level in the hierarchy of controls is PPE, or personal protective equipment. These are items such as gloves, goggles, or respirators that workers were to protect themselves from the hazard. Although PPE is the last line of defense in the hierarchy of controls, it's still an important safety measure. For example, if a worker is required to enter a confined space, they may be required to wear a respirator to protect them from hazardous gases or vapors. So, it's important to understand the hierarchy of controls because it provides a systematic approach to identifying and implementing effective controls to mitigate workplace hazards. The most effective controls are at the top of the pyramid, such as elimination and substitution, while the least effective controls are at the bottom of the pyramid, such as PPE. However, it's important to remember that each level of the hierarchy is a valuable tool in the toolbox of safety measures and should be used appropriately, depending on the specific hazard and the work environment. Okay, so that was a quick overview of the hierarchy of controls. I hope you found this video useful, and if you do, don't forget to like and share. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.